Subterranean termites, what do you know about them? Well, I'll tell you that you probably know they eat wood and that they can cause severe destruction to your home. But do you know how to get rid of termites? Do you know how to prevent termites besides the tricky pest control salesman that's coming to your house trying to convince you to do some crazy monthly pricing package with some outrageous installation cost for termites that you might not even have? I'll show you this up close. Again, we've talked about this a whole bunch of times. They're in-ground termite bait stations. A lot of you homeowners or business owners probably have them, but I'm going to show you why they're so important and kind of what happens when the equipment works as intended and why we install it the way that we do. So right here is an in-ground Trelona annual termite bait station. There's two main competitors. You have the Centricon, which is the green stations, and then you have the Trelona stations. You have a special key to open the top of it. As you can see, we put it below the grass so that your mower doesn't hit it. And then you'll find two cartridges. They're always active. We use the always active stations, and they contain insect growth regulator in here. Essentially what these little pucks are is compressed cellulose, because that's actually what subterranean termites are feeding off of. I'll show you an up close picture of it here. As you can see, the spider tool fits nice in a nice little snug tug. You can pull it out. We have these little gasket hooks that we can see them, and there's actually two of them in here. These are looking fantastic. We don't have too much activity. We want there to be a little bit of mold because termites, obviously they're decomposers, so we want a little bit of mold on there to attract them to it. They're not actually a bait. A common misconception when we say bait stations is that it's going to necessarily attract termites to your home, but that's not the case. That's why the manufacturer recommends that we place them every 15 to 20 linear feet surrounding the home, because they'll actually make a Christmas tree pattern and they'll forage on these. They prefer them over other cellulose food sources, but they're not actually an attractant. We recently visited a customer's house for the annual check-in of their termite bait stations, and we found significant results in our equipment. As you can see, there's nothing in here. You can actually see the remnants of the mud that they make to encapsulate themselves, since they're very sensitive. The worker termites need a specific humidity level. They're very vulnerable, so they build those mud tubes to encapsulate them and maintain the humidity in their tunnels. They'll formulate them around here, and they will take this back to the colony. And what this does, I mentioned earlier, it allows them to not molt, and so it's an insect growth regulator. By inhibiting the molting process, their colonies no longer to grow and reproduce. So it's fantastic measure of prevention as well as extermination of an active termite colony. The matter of the fact is that you'll always have some pest control technician or some salesman coming to try to sell you some termite prevention package. We obviously believe that prevention is a lot cheaper and easier to perform than an eradication. However, you got to be known of what actually they're charging you and how they go about things. There's a lot of companies in the Kansas City metro area that bill monthly for a service for eternity versus a simple installation charge and then a yearly annual renewal that's required with these stations. Some companies even go to the extent of cutting costs so much that they'll take out these cartridges, which are an always active system, and put wood monitoring box. Once that activity is present, then they'll put an active bait in there. We don't believe in that. We believe in doing it right the first time. That's why we're in business, and that's how we'll continue to stay in business. We do things right the first time with genuine transparency. Real Pest Solutions, KC.